Greetings, color enthusiasts, transcribers, scholars if you will, to this What's in the Box from me, one part of the Merry Married Meeples. This game comes to us from them and from that company. I'm not going to flip it over. Just know you have dice and workers and you're doing stuff, and you'll see here soon. Alright, so you have a rule book. Looks like a lot of their rule books, they have the same basic setup in them all, which is good because they are a good rule book. They walk you through stuff nice. They show you how things happen. They give you the examples. So it's nice when a company has a template that they can always just follow and go through and be like, yep, this works. We'll just do it that way. So resting, influence, caliph cards, end of game, scoring, and then you start your solo play rules. And here we go with those, and then your card appendix, and all the iconography, and the color wheel, because this does use colors where you can mix colors and change colors and whatnot. Alright, now you have, if I remember correctly, this is the solo player board. There we go, there's that. You have bags for each player. Let's do the hand test. So, a little small for my hand, but manageable. Next up we have each player's board. So you'll notice a couple things on here. You have this little moon icon and you have these actions down here. You're going to be playing cards from your hand into these different actions, or these different spots, to do the actions that are below them. And then when you do the rest action, you trigger any moons that are visible. Alright, so you have a few of those. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next up you have the main board, which is quite large. So down here you'll have your translators you hire. Here's going to be the transcripts you're going to be wanting to translate. These are the tracks that you're going to be able to go up to. This is the house of knowledge that you'll be moving those things to transcribe over to here. And you know what, we're going to show you upside down, because upside down is cool. So this is where the caliph cards are going to go as they get revealed. And this is basically end of game trigger. These are where the translators are going to be that you can hire or get rid of them for stuff on their card. Kind of an instant effect. Alright, so we have not had a chance to play this yet, as you'll see by everything still being kind of baggied up. But let's go into what we do have and that I do know from reading the rulebook. So you have the 4-player colors. And in the 4-player colors, you have components. So you have the little banners that track things. You have your little marker that goes around that one area where you get the things you need to transcribe. And you have your influence markers. So red, yellow, blue, purple. You have a bunch of dice in different colors. So you have your yellow, white, red, blue. And then those are all your primary colors. And then you have your secondary color dice are translucent. And these go 4, 5, and 6. The other ones are 1, 2, and 3. Alrighty. You got a first player marker. You have a neutral player marker that goes around that transcribing board. You have gold tokens. We got the metal coins with our Kickstarter. And these do feel like they're typical quality coins. Really nice. Really cool designs on them. As you can see. Then we have a baggie of workers in the different primary colors, because as I said, that's one of the cool things about this game is the workers will be used in different ways. So if you have a white die, you can put a white worker with it to increase its value to 6, and then you can put a blue worker on it to change it to a blue 6. So a lot of kind of color manipulation going on in there. Let's just dump those in there. There we go. And return the white die. There. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at these cards. Alright, so here are those cards. So first we're going to start with the Caliph cards. These are going to be getting mixed into a deck in a certain way. I'll show you how you figure that out here in a moment. But these, as I said, are the endgame trigger. Once all 4 of these are revealed, the endgame is triggered. And they do various things. Next up, you have your scrolls that you're going to be translating. So they're going to have a language up top, and you need to bring everything back to, or bring everything to Arabic. And they have different things on here as rewards that you can get when you do them. So lots of different ones of these. Here they are. And of course and then they have a school down here, which is those tracks that you'll be going up. The other thing I want to mention is in the rulebook, they do say that even though this is very color oriented, they have taken steps to help those with color blindness. Certain dice have black pips, certain ones have white. The secondary colors are all translucent, and they've gone through and taken steps, and that's all outlined in the rulebook. Next up, you have your 6 goal cards. And then you have your, I believe these are your starting script cards maybe. There's those. Then we go to the scheme cards, which are for solo. And then, so these are your player decks of cards. So as you see each color, I will show you one of them. So you'll put these over the spot, and then you'll put dice there to determine how you're going to do the action. And then some of them do give you stuff for the rest. There's those. And then a couple of them do have actions up top that you can take. Alright, so those are the small cards. Let's get into the larger cards. Alright, so first up we have... What are these? These are the starting translators. So you'll see a little spot up here. You put your influence there to show that it is your translator. And then down here is what they translate. And then what happens is when they get so much gold on them based on where they are on that one part on the board, you then get them as a retired one, and you can slot them under your board to add benefits to when you do the actions. Next up, you have resource cards. You give these at the beginning of the game, and this shows what the person's bag and resource and everything's going to be. And then on the back, you have a player aid. So here is that Caliph card setup that I was talking about. So where to put them. It listed for a casual game or an epic game, basically if you want a longer game. Now you have the AI, the solo player reference cards, and now you have your translators. So you'll see they have certain looks, and so you'll have them spread out across the top of the board. And they have a couple of things. One is they have, if you dismiss them, you get this up here. This is what they translate. And that is on this side. If you choose to hire them as a translator, you put them down there, put your influence on, and that's what you get when they retire. But as you see, even with the same picture, they have different abilities. And then all of a sudden you go to the next person, but they always translate, or they always have, it looks like one language the same, and then have other languages mixed in. And translators. So this is a departure from his other like worker placement where you're actually placing out workers. This one is more where you're putting cards down to take the actions, and then using the actual worker pieces to change the color of the dice to change what actions you can do or what power you can do them. And we're coming to the end of the translators. There we go. And then you may have saw this. This is the promo cards that came with it when you backed the Kickstarter, which I will open here in a moment once I get my fingers in there properly. And they are denoted with a star to show their promos. So it looks like one more of each translator. Alright, so that was Scholars of the South Tigris. Lots of dice, lots of wood components, lots of cards, and super thinky from what I read in the rulebook. It definitely seems to be one of his heavier, more involved ones. So we are looking forward to getting this one played, though, here soon. In the meantime, between time, you all have a good day.